Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today is our February check-in. We're talking books, we're talking goals from January and new goals for February, and it's gonna be a good time. If you're new here, this is a series I do on my channel called the Monthly Check-In series, and it started off with my 2020 resolutions video, which I'll have linked down below. That's where I set my resolutions for 2020, and so throughout this year, at the beginning of each month, I want to do a check-in, checking in on the status of those goals from the previous month, and also making any edits and modifying them for the next month. Also, to add on to it a little bit, I am adding in the books I read and what I think of those books. If you want to join in on this series, in my last 2020 resolutions video that I have linked down below, there is a link to a worksheet that you can download. If you want to use my same goal setting system, you can join me, and the upload of each of these videos can kind of be like a little reminder to check in on your goals as well. Now let's get on started with books. In January, I read these 3 books, and they are 2 non-fiction books and 1 fiction book. Starting off with the first book I finished, which is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is a historical fiction book. Follows Sunja, who is a young girl living in Korea in the early 1900s. Sunja falls in love with this really rich man, and then she gets pregnant. It doesn't work out. And in Korea at the time, it's really shamed to have a child without a father. So Sunja is kind of in this bad situation. But then comes along a new character, and he marries Sunja more out of benevolence than out of love, which is a very interesting situation. We can go more in depth about that in a book club. She gets married to this new man, she moves to Japan, and then the book starts to escalate really fast as it follows all the root racism Sunja faces as a Korean living in Japan, her son's identity crisis when he finds out that his father is not his biological father. And without being too drawn out or dull, it follows Sunja's sons, and it follows her son's kids, and they're just themes of loyalty, family, love, and sacrifice. And Min Jin Lee just did an amazing job developing such deep, unique, and complex characters. I highly recommend it. It wasn't one of those books that would cause me to pull an all-nighter just because I couldn't stop reading it, which is honestly good. Those books are just like self-torture. But this book genuinely got me excited to read it right before bed, and I absolutely love reading books right before bed because I find that when I do that, I get the best sleep ever. The second book I read was The Defining Decade: Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them Now by Meg Jay, PhD. I heard about this book because it was recommended by Elena Tabor on YouTube, so I want to give credit where it's due, and I'm so glad she recommended this book. This book is divided into 3 sections: work, love, and the body and the brain. And I really identified with the work section. I still love the other sections, but the work section really spoke to me. It talked about confidence issues that 20-somethings face moving into the workplace and being the most inexperienced person there, and also how to grow in your career, those kind of things. So if you're a 20-something-year-old and you're feeling confused about your path, your relationship, your future, or you just want to know things that you should know as a 20-something-year-old, then I highly recommend this book. So I'm thinking about starting a book note series on my channel, which is basically, it features 1 book and I highlight important quotes or takeaways that really resonated with me. So let me know in the comments down below if that's something you want to see, and if it's something you want to see for this book. The final book I read was Life Lessons: 2 Experts on Death and Dying Teach Us About the Mysteries of Life and Living by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, MD, and David Kessler. So I didn't actually have any plans to read this book. I was browsing my local bookstore that I usually go to get all my books, and I went to the discount table, which I usually don't do because I usually have a book in mind that I want to buy. And this is when I was going through my little mini early life existential crisis, which if you saw my last vlog, you know all about it. I came across this book, and it was the only copy of this book there, and it literally felt like someone was reading my mind and placed this book there. It was really freaky because I was questioning like what the meaning of life was, what should be important in my life, and if I was on the right path. And basically what this book is, it's a lot of stories from people who are on the edge of life, and they walk you through all the practical and spiritual lessons that they've taken away from life, and they tell you about what they realize really matters for them as they're on the edge of life. This book just has given me a completely fresh perspective because I realize now when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not going to be thinking, oh, I wish I got that last promotion, or oh, I wish I made $10,000 more than last year. What I'm gonna be thinking about is, oh, I regret how that relationship ended, or I wish I spent more time with that person. It's all about the people in your lives. I have seriously learned so much from this book because it is seriously so beautiful. I think everyone should read this book to help them live their lives right now to the fullest. The books I'm currently reading right now is The American Marriage, which is on Oprah's book club list. I'm also going to reread The Defining Decade and Life Lessons because, especially for nonfiction books, what I like to do is I read it through the first time because I'm impatient and I really want to just see what the book's all about. And then the second time through is when I really start taking notes and highlighting my key takeaways. So you can see in The Defining Decade, I have more annotations and sticky notes stuck in because I've started to reread it. After all, it's not about the number of books you read per month, but more of what you actually take away from those books. Thank you for attending the Swang Swang Book Club. Now let's move on to goals. So if you watch my 2020 resolutions video, again, link down below, then you know what my goals for this year are. So I'm not gonna go through each individual goal again because that would just take a long time. It would be a repeat of that video. I'm gonna do a status check-in on my goals. So I'm gonna put a check mark for those that I have completed, a question mark for those that are a work in progress, and a red X for those that I did not complete. And then the empty goals are ones that just don't apply yet. For example, they might be goals that are due at the end of the year. So to highlight a few, one of my goals was to start having lunch with someone at work at least once per week because I got into this bad habit of working through lunch, and I started doing this and I actually started doing it even more. Now we have reoccurring lunches on every Tuesday, reoccurring lunches on every Wednesday, and I've just gotten so much closer to people at work and it's completely changed my work experience. Not only am I happy at work because now I have more people there that are friends and not just co-workers, but it's also helped my confidence because I'm in more meetings now where there's people that I have personal relationships with. Another one I want to highlight is I had a goal of collecting feedback and advice from people at least 2 times per month, which I did not do. I guess I just didn't really find a comfortable way to ask people for feedback. I've actually asked my manager for feedback, but his feedback has been very positive, which is good. I'm glad that it's positive. I'm just looking for a little bit of direction of what skills I should build upon. I don't really want to put people on the spot because if you put them on the spot, I think sometimes the feedback won't be as valuable as if they had time to think about it. This one is a work in progress. I'm still figuring out how to get feedback from people. Another one that I did not complete is having a personal rating of 4 out of 5 stars on my YouTube videos. I think that I'm going to slow my content creation down. I also want to explore more on the blog and podcast side, hint hint, and because the quality of my videos just not have been up to my standards. Like I think they can be a lot better, and I want to take it down to making 1 video per week so that I can really increase the quality of these videos. I think in the beginning I just had a lot of ideas and a lot of videos I wanted to make, and I wanted to get all that information out there that I rushed through it a little bit. Now for the month of February, I'm going to be editing some of these goals and also specifying a specific section of goals that I have that I want to focus on specifically in February. I think the thing about goals is that they should be modifiable because sometimes when you set goals on the 1st of January, they really don't apply throughout the year. Like your life changes, your priority changes, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to highlight a few of my changes that I'm making, and one is I want to incorporate at least 1 social activity during the week. Sometimes it can be difficult because I'll get home from work and I'll be tired, or I'll make dinner and then I will have something to work on. So I prioritize those things before it's time to go to bed. But at least 1 time during the week I want to go do something social. So whether it's meeting up for someone for food or going to my friend's house, because I realized that hanging out with my friends made me really happy. Like this past week I hung out with a group of my friends to watch a Bachelor recap. We don't have the attention span to watch the whole Bachelor episode, but we watched the recap together, and the next morning I was just so happy because I got some time to hang out and just relax with people after work. Next is I'm upping the number of times I hang out with people at work. So instead of just at least lunch once per week, I want to meet up with people to have lunch or meet up for coffee or tea appointments at least 4 times per week because it is just such a positive experience, and I think I'm ready to ramp that up a bit. Another thing I'm adding is finding a mentor, which actually I found a mentor, and if you're not new here, you know that I've kind of struggled with finding a mentor, and I finally found one, and His style just matches mine so well. He has a very philosophical style of explaining things, and that really resonates with me. So I'm so grateful to have found him. But I don't want to check this off the list yet because we've only met once, and I want to make sure that this is a sustainable relationship that will last and grow, because that's the kind of mentor-mentee relationship that I am looking for. Now, for the month of February, I have some special things I want to focus on. I didn't want to make this list too jam-packed because I already have a lot of goals that I am focusing on. But for the month of February, I want to start checking in with myself more through journaling. The purpose of this check-in is I'm really trying to discover my niche at work. What am I good at? What do I like doing? That'll help me guide towards where I want to put my time and effort. It's kind of like a personal branding discovery path for the corporate world and for my personal life too. So every morning I open up my journal and I answer 6 questions. And the first question was, how did I feel yesterday? What went well? What could have changed? What I love doing? What I realized I need to work on, or skills that I want to build? And finally, what were my rewards that I really appreciate? So that could be in the form of money, it could be in the form of helping someone out. I've got to give credit to my mentor for inspiring this practice. He explained it in a much more philosophical way. He called it the heart, tree, and star exercise, where heart is what you love doing, tree is things that you need to nurture, water to grow, and star is all the rewards that you value. Over time, this will help me align what is important to me. It sounds really simple, but when I actually got down to writing it, I realized things that I knew in the back of my head but never conceptualized. So I highly recommend this if you're struggling to find your place at work or even your place in life. I think it really helps. So that is everything I have on the note of goals. For a few life update announcements, I am officially starting a podcast. It is finally happening. I am teaming up with a friend. Stay tuned. I will keep you all updated. Let me know if there are specific topics you're looking for in a podcast. Okay, those are all the books and goals I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video and tuning in. If you're new here, I make videos on entrepreneurship, career, creativity, lifestyle, and I upload every Wednesday. My upload days were Thursdays before, but I think I'm gonna change it to Wednesdays. Let me know if you have a preferred day of upload though in the comments down below. So like this video if you enjoyed it, that helps promote my video in the YouTube algorithm. Comment below, I love it when you all comment, and subscribe if you want to stay for more. Until next time, bye!
Young age, trying to make a bit. Now that I'm up late, all on my dick. No contract, just never thrown a brick. Just trying to keep it cool.